President Trump's defense secretary pick, Pete Hegseth, lays out his mission for the next administration during his Senate confirmation hearing yesterday.
I'm going to work with President Trump and this committee to, one, restore the warrior ethos to the Pentagon and throughout our fighting force. Unlike the current administration, politics should play no part in military matters. We are not Republicans. We are not Democrats. We are American warriors. Our standards will be high, and they will be equal, not equitable.
But Democrats wasted no time in attacking Hegseth. Watch.
I have many concerns about your record, and particularly your public statements, because they are so hurtful to the men and women who are currently serving in the U.S. military, harmful to morale, harmful to good order and discipline. We'll have to change how you see women to do this job well, and I don't know if you are capable of that.
Can you so casually cheat on a second wife and cheat on the mother of a child that had been born 2 months before, and you tell us you are completely cleared? Senator, how is that a complete clear?
Stated, yes or no? What are you afraid of? You can't answer this question. Yes or no, did you lead an audit? Do you not know this answer?
Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin defending Hegseth by flipping the script on the other side of the aisle. Watch.
How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down? No. But it's for show. It is so ridiculous that you guys hold yourself as this higher standard and you forget you got a big plank in your eye. We've all made mistakes.
Markwayne, it was really spot on. Yeah, it was all for show. Yeah. Yep. It was a big show. And you know what? Unfortunately, that showed me yesterday. These hearings mean nothing. I mean, can you imagine that we actually saw all of this conversation and attacks about his marriage, about drinking, about this, no questions on Ukraine. Right. No questions on the National Guard potentially needed at the open border. Jonathan, I mean, where was the substance in this hearing?
You're exactly right. And it just shows where the Democrats are coming from, the histrionics, and they really just embarrass themselves. But if you really look at this, one of the issues that they're fighting back on is this DEI stuff, which is really a pillar of the Democratic Party. You put abortion, DEI, identity politics, that's today's Democratic Party with a little anti-Trump sprinkled in there, and they're fighting against it. But you're exactly right in that they don't even recognize we have a major problem with the Defense Department. They can't recruit anymore, and they don't even seem to recognize that problem. And it's kind of interesting. They're so hard on Pete Hegseth, but did any of them say anything when Lloyd Austin went essentially AWOL for a few days, was in the hospital, and nobody knew about it? And did any one of these Democrats say a single thing about it? That's far more important than anything 20 years ago with Pete Hegseth. And, you know, he's going to bring back the recruiting, which is so low, and they need somebody like Pete Hegseth to do that. You know,
I was thinking, okay, the number of ships in China has to come up, I kept thinking, because I know that right now the U.S. Navy has about 200 plus ships, and China is looking to acquire more than 450 ships. So I thought, okay, they have to ask him about the lack of readiness, right? Not even a question there.
Right, not even a question. And not a question about potentially what's going to happen with China and Taiwan, because that's brewing, and we know that, right? None of it. And to your point, I think Pete Hegseth is going to do great for the military in terms of attracting that new generation of young men and women that want to join, because he's going to be the face of it, and I think he is going to be the face of it, and I think it's going to be great. But to your point, not a question about China, not a question about Taiwan, not a question about the other threats that are building around the world.
I thought it was really embarrassing, Adam. I mean, President Trump's foreign policy team will sit for their confirmation hearings later this morning. We've got Secretary of State pick Marco Rubio. You've got CIA Director nominee John Ratcliffe, among others. Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi will also sit for day one of a two-day hearing. So this will continue. Let's see if they continue to embarrass themselves and not even discuss or address the issues of the day and just try to sling mud.
Well, the good news is Senator Marco Rubio is one of these guys. If anyone's able to pair their criticisms, certainly he will know how to do that. Hegseth is obviously coming from outside the Beltway. I was very impressed the way Hegseth handled himself yesterday. He was far more professional than many of the lawmakers who were questioning him. Marco Rubio, again, will be very strong today.
Yeah.
But to your point about substance, can we please finally get over the DEI, the ESG, and let's actually get to issues that matter? Why didn't somebody question Mr. Hegseth about why there are so few, why the most number of ships ever are actually in dry dock and in repairs?
Right.
And what's his plan for that? Because I'm willing to bet he had an answer for that.
And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, the number of ships that the U.S. has in the Navy is a really big issue. General Jack Keane talks about it all the time. He said years ago, we are outmanned, we're outgunned. Not a question about any of that.
No.
So we'll see if they want to keep playing Showtime or if they're actually going to get to business.